Today's question is, Introverts of Reddit, what social interaction makes your battery down to 0% immediately?
Unexpected people at a gathering, or many people coming and going. My in-laws seem to always have lots of random people living with them, and you truly never know who's going to be at their house until you walk in the door. I can't prepare myself if I don't know how many / which people I can expect to see. My ML also tends to bring random people with her when invited over. Well, they were at the house when we left, and they wanted to come too. I hate having unexpected strangers in my house. It instantly takes away the feeling of it being my safe zone. Probably not surprising that I don't invite my in-laws over very often, and it's extremely rare that I go to their house. I travel a lot in my work, and it often includes staying in a remote city for 2 to 3 days, doing full workdays at customers' facility, then coming back home. My survival technique are hotels. I find them calming as they're like airports. You've seen one. You've seen most of them. I get sent to a remote facility, but the customer's liaison guy invites me to their home instead. I politely decline and try all the excuses in the book, but he's not taking no for an answer. Eventually, he starts to get insulted, and my boss tells we kinda need this deal and asks me to go. After the flight, I get picked up, and we do a full day at the facility. Then we go to the guy's house. They have 2 children, who are hyper and think I'm there to play with them. I try my best to show happy face, but internally my battery is already dry for a long time. Finally, the kids go somewhere, and I think I have some time off. But now the guy offers me a beer. Okay, I tell him I've been trying to distance myself from alcohol, but he still drinks couple beers and becomes annoyingly talkative. At this point, I'm screaming internally. It's at around 21, and I see this as a good time to go. It's been a long day. I think I'll go check my mail and stuff and go to sleep and head upstairs, which has my room. I hear them talking. The wife is telling the guy that I might see them as bad hosts if he leaves me alone. The husband, however, wants to drink more beer, so the wife comes up. To my horror, I have absolutely nothing in common with her. She starts talking about their kids and goes on for over half an hour of oversharing details about their life, while my brain is already frozen from the whole situation. Finally, I get to sleep, and I get woken up over an hour before my time, as apparently the family has super long breakfast where they just slowly eat and chat about stuff. I have zero energy left from previous day and just stare into the void, while the whole family watches a stupid cartoon and they deeply analyze what's going on in it. I was supposed to have 2 to 3 more days of this, but I call my boss when I get a break and tell him I can't take this anymore. He now realizes I'm not joking and arranges an emergency job for the next day, so after the second day is done, we agree that the finishing touches will be done remotely now that the hardware is installed, and after the day I finally head back to the airport. My host is noticeably upset, and on the way to the airport he tells me he had their relatives coming tonight and he had hoped we could have done something together. TLDR, to answer the ops question, my internal social interaction battery shorts and dies if I don't get a hotel for multi-day on-site jobs. I have a story for this that happened to be me yesterday. This has a lot of setup to get to the relevant part. I have 2 friends. We'll call them A and B. A and I have been friends since we were 11 years old, and we are 32 now. O was the best man at my wedding and has always been my best friend. B and I used to be co-workers and became friends, and we have known each other for 4 or 5 years. We all used to hang out together, and A and B were also friends and hung out with each other. 2 years ago, B's wife and my wife got into a stupid argument and pretty much decided they hated each other. I never really directly spoke to B about this drama, but I never got any vibes that it was going to cause an issue in our relationship. Well, apparently it was an issue, because I soon found that I was being excluded from invites to things like parties or even lunches with A. A has always been a loner kind of guy, but last year he got a serious girlfriend. We hung out a few times as a couple together. We are both nerdy guys, and my wife is nerdy, but his girlfriend is not. She's popular. Now A is one of the popular group. I invited him over a few times for dinner or lunch or just to hang out, but he kept telling me he was busy. That's fine. I get it. Do your thing, brother. But now it's been over a year since I saw A. I sent him a badass birthday gift, and didn't get a thank you or even hear that he liked it or anything. I see that A and B are still hanging out regularly and I continue not to be invited. Anyway, here is the relevant part. We have another friend, let's call him C. I am casual friends with C. We work together, we chat mostly through IM and group chats, etc. Well, he invites me out to lunch and tells me that A and B are going to be there. I was like, okay. I haven't spoken to either of them in a couple of years. All I can think about is how awkward it's going to be. Hey, so no contact in over 1 or 2 years. What's up with that? I see you guys been hanging out a lot. That must be fun. I show up at the restaurant where we are having lunch at a bit early. I tell the hostess I'm having lunch with 3 others, but I'm just going to take a seat at the bar for now. I sit down and order a beer and start reading Reddit on my phone. I'm kinda anxious about the lunch is going to go, and I'm already planning things I'm going to say when I see them. Suddenly, my phone rings and it's A. WTF, he's screwing up my whole plan I had in my head. But maybe he's lost? Fuck him. He'll figure it out. I was about to send him to voicemail, but paused. What if he's just screwing with me and is sitting right behind me and catches me sending him to voicemail? That'd be fucked up. So I decide to answer. Hello? Hey man, where are you? Are you right behind me? Turn around, yeah you are. He was sitting at the table behind me. So I joined him, and we started talking and laughing, and it was as if we hadn't been apart over the year. I act and speak differently with people I'm close with. So when I find myself in a social situation with someone I'm close with and a bunch of other people, I don't know how to act, and the effort of trying drains me. When I first met my partner's family, I was struggling so much because I wanted to behave the way I usually do with him, but the presence of other people made me feel awkward about opening up and being all comfortable. So I was in a limbo, trying to behave in a way that works for me and them. They're clearly already comfortable with one another, so I was just trying to jump into their groove. I felt like I was putting in so much effort, but looking back at it, I realized that I spent very little time talking and more time listening, trying to figure the direction of the current and finding a good spot to dive without cracking my skull. Going to a social interaction that has a start/end time, i.e., go to event time, event ends, go home, and then getting dragged along to do extra stuff afterwards when I'm ready to go home. This is doubly true if I'm not that close/familiar with the people I'm hanging out with, aside from those I was invited with. As an example, some extended family had a high-tea baby shower. This is on my stepmom's side, so I'm happy to chat with a few people, but don't know probably 80% of attendees. I get drained socially just speaking with these people and meeting a few new people. The high tea ends, and I'm ready to go home and recharge. Nope. We're going to a relative's house for more tea and cakes. So I go along, already exhausted, because I didn't drive myself and have no choice. I talk with the people I know, drink more tea, and wish I could go outside to play with the cute dog on my own. Finally, this second event ends, and I am straight up done, ready to go home and chill out on my own. But hey, we drove a couple other people to the first event. How about we go to their house for dinner on the way back? Ugh, I seriously felt like crying, but there was nothing I could do. We only had pizza and it was a generally relaxed time overall, but God, I was so uncomfortable and completely, utterly drained of my social energy by the time we went home. Calling customer service, or anything along those lines. I won't even call in an order for takeaway or delivery, but calling customer service lines does me in every time. On those few occasions that I get the really friendly, helpful person who manages to help me get everything squared away the first time, I'm so over the top in thanking them that they probably think I'm crazy. Typically, I wind up trying not to hyperventilate or cry, which means that the anxiety shifts to anger as the call goes on longer and longer, seemingly forever. By the time I get off the phone, my heart is pounding. I'm having difficulty breathing and frequently lightheaded with stabbing pains in my shoulders. There's no more of any kind of social interaction after one of those calls. I'm just flat out done. And this is the end of today's video. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to comment an anecdote or experience similar to the topic of the video, leave your like, share if you liked the video, and lastly, don't forget to activate the little bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Bye-bye.